Hello.
Today we're going to be talking about slope-intercept form.
One of our faves.
So as you can see in the middle, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. And as you can see on your notes sheet, m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So whatever is in front of x is your slope, which is the steepness of your line.
It's called a coefficient. So if you ever refer to a coefficient, that's what's in front of the variable.
Yep. And then your constant is your y-intercept. Now, what happens if there's not a constant there? What if it's just y? What if you see like y equals 2x? I know my slope would be 2. What would my intercept be?
It would be a 0.
So if it's not there, it's nothing.
Right.
Ready to see how this works, guys? Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Okay, so here all you're doing is stating the slope and the y-intercept of the graph of the equation that's shown there. So literally look to see what place those things are in. So my y-intercept is going to be the number that's out by itself with no x. Oh, you're rewriting it. Okay, so I see that my y-intercept is b, and in the position is -4. It's like there's no math involved. It's just like looking.
Yeah, just line it up, right?
All right, and then I see my coefficient of x is 2/3, so my slope is 2/3.
So do you want me to leave that as 2/3?
I sure do.
Okay. So don't touch it. Always leave that in fraction form.
Yeah.
Just like with rate of change, leave it in fraction form.
Fraction.
Okay.
Fraction.
Got it.
Okay. So now you just do these.
Okay.
You want to try them yourself, or you want us to? Let's do A.
We'll do A.
And then we'll see what you get on the other ones. Okay. So A, y equals mx plus b. My y-intercept is going to be that number out there by itself.
Okay.
3.
And it's a plus sign in front of that.
So that's right. So since it says +3, it's a +3.
Right.
And then that slope is going to be, shoot, it's not a fraction. Is it okay for me to write -5, or would you like for them to write -5/1?
Either one.
Okay.
You want over 1 or like this?
I'm okay either way.
Okay. I'm
So
good with this.
that's it. So what we want you to do the same thing we just did. Go ahead and pause the video now.
Okay, so we wrote the slope and the y-intercept down. As you can see on B, it looks a little different. Okay.
So why'd you do that?
Well, I looked at the formula, y equals mx plus b. Instead of writing out y-intercept, I just used the variable that we always use there.
Yeah.
So I put b equals -6.
So B is always your y-intercept.
Right.
And
Your slope is 1/4, always that coefficient in front of the x.
Can I have a custodian at locker
Custodians, let's get
614, please? A custodian help a student at locker 614.
one thing we need to talk about is, well, I guess we'll talk about that when we graph. Okay, so let's keep going.
Okay. Then on C, our constant, staying out the end, is a +5, so that means it's just 5. Then we have a -x.
If there's nothing in front of the variable except for like the negative sign or nothing, then we know that there's an invisible 1.
Right. So it was -1 or -1/1, so it's simply just -1.
I love it.
Okay.
Okay, so easy.
I love this stuff.
I do too. Okay, so now you're going to not identify it. You're going to actually write this equation. So write an equation of this line. I'm giving you the slope, and we're giving you the y-intercept. So again, y equals mx plus b. You are going to literally put, instead of the m, you're going to put the slope, and instead of the b, you're going to put the y-intercept. So
Sounds good to me.
y,
So the y always stays.
y always stays, and
Okay.
x always stays.
Got it.
So y equals, slope is -3, so
Slope is m.
right in front of that x, so -3x.
-3.
Cool.
Okay. Then it says plus b, but it says a -4, so that would mean I'd have a -4.
Right. I am also okay if it said y equals -3x plus -4.
Works for me.
It's the same thing.
Just know that these are the same thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was easy.
Love it.
Okay. Now, here's where you're going to write it from a graph. So this is where we're putting it all together.
Got it. A
So-
kit and caboodle, if you shall.
So we need to find the slope and we need to find the y-intercept. We have not talked about what y-intercept actually means.
Okay.
So the y-intercept is where the y crosses the line, where the line of the graph intercepts the y-axis. So I can see in the green dot that that crosses at 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So
You
it's-
are correct.
So that's my b. So plus 4. And my slope is rise over run. I can definitely see that this line is going down and not up.
Okay.
So it's going to be down 1 or negative 1,
Uh-huh.
and then it runs 2 over.
As it says.
So negative,
down 1, negative 1.
negative 1 over 2, rise over run,
Okay.
and then I put my x.
The x is always there.
That's it.
Okay. I love this.
I do too. I think it's awesome. Okay, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to I guess it's D.
Yeah.
You're going to write an equation for this graph in slope-intercept form.
So an equation means slope-intercept form.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For the graph that's shown.
Mhm.
Then number E is just write an equation with the information given in the problem. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and pause and do this now.
All right.
Okay,
So we looked at D, and we first identified the green dot, or the y-intercept.
yes.
Okay.
So my y-intercept on D, it was the blue line of the graph is crossing the y-axis at -2. So that's my y-intercept, which we wrote as B. Then we did our slope of rise over run, which we've been practicing forever and a day. Goes up 5 and over 3. So we did 5 over 3, x minus 2.
The x always follows the slope. There it is.
That's the equation of that line.
Yep.
Number E was super easy because we didn't have to look at anything. It tells us what to do.
Right.
So I put my slope of 3/4, where slope goes. Y equals 3/4 x. And then it tells me the y-intercept is -3, so -3.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, now here's where we're going to ask you to interpret what the y-intercept is asking, or what it's talking about. So, Student Council is selling t-shirts during Spirit Week. Maybe they're the Witterson t-shirts.
Maybe. I hope so.
I hope so
Yeah.
too.
So do you.
It costs $20 for the design and $5 to print each shirt. The cost Y to print X shirts is given by this equation. Y equals 5X plus 20.
You said y is cost, right? That was
Yes.
in there.
Mm-hmm.
And x is shirts.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm just taking some notes.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
And then our equation is Y equals,
Jillian Silver to the
Tell you
office,
what,
please.
people,
Jillian Silver to the
Get to
office.
the office.
Y equals 5X plus 20. So let's graph this using our stuff that we know.
Okay.
So first of all, we're going to label cost and shirts,
Okay.
right?
So it said y is cost. So here's my y-axis.
Mhm.
So I would go up.
Cost.
Okay.
Cool.
X is
Mhm.
shirts. So I would just label shirts there.
Ooh, that's hard to. There we
Say
go.
shirts.
Shirts.
Promise.
Okay.
Shirts.
Now, steps on the left side. Step 1, plot your y-intercept. So will you write that for step 1 over here where it says
Mhm.
steps? So
So one.
1, put on the plot your y-intercept. Put a dot for your y-intercept.
So can I say plot B?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
B
So
stands for.
y-intercept.
There you go.
My y-intercept in this case is 20.
Okay.
So I would want to label this. What do you want to go by 5s or
Sure.
2s or something?
So 0 down here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to skip 1 and then go up to 10. So I'm going by 5s.
But we're only writing.
Right. So 15 and then up to 20. 25 up to 30.
Mhm.
35 up to 40. 45 up to 50. Is that good for you?
I think that's good.
Okay.
Okay, so our y-intercept, again, on that y-axis, boom, I'm putting a dot at 20.
Okay. 20 is here.
Cool. Now, step number 2, use my slope to put more dots on,
Use slope.
to plot more points.
Okay.
So, in this particular example, the slope is 5, which means 5 over 1.
Okay. So I could, it's 5 over 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that means, remember, slope is rise over run, so it goes up 5
Up 5.
over 1. Cool.
Oh, we didn't label the shirts.
No, we didn't do shirts. So let's do shirts right now. 1, 2. How'd you switch to black so quick?
I pressed the little button.
Oh,
There's a rogue fly in here. Have you seen
there's
that?
a fly. It's
Yeah.
going everywhere.
Okay. So I just want to pretend.
Okay, so now we have up 5 and over 1. Cool.
Continue it.
Notice how she did not go up 5 lines. She went up 5 in the cost.
Because the interval is by 5.
Right.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay, so then keep going. Up
Up
5 over 1, put a dot. Up 5 over 1, put a dot. Blah, 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 blah. It's the same. Up 5 over 1, put a dot. And then you connect your dots. Or not. Well, in this case, we would not.
We would not.
You
Mhm.
no
You
connecting of
can't
the
have
dots.
half a shirt.
So
So-
we're not even going to connect the dots.
Right.
So there you go. But this is linear
Yep.
in a straight line.
Right.
There you go.
So if Mrs. Richardson comes to me and says, how much money is it going to cost me for 6 shirts? I can use this. I go over to 6 and up to 50. It's going to cost you $50.
$50 for 6 shirts. So now let's actually interpret the y-intercept.
Okay.
My y-intercept is $20.
Okay.
And that's for, how many shirts do I get for $20?
None.
0.
You get nothing. 0 shirts.
Okay.
You know, screen printing, you have to cough, you know.
Right.
Makes sense.
Okay. So here you go. Should we do this one too, just in
Sure.
case? Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and do this one with you. Okay. A taxi fare, y, can be determined by the equation y equals 0.50x plus 350. So I'm guessing these are monies amounts.
Sounds like it.
50 cents. Oh, and it says where x is the number of miles. So it's 50 cents per mile plus a startup charge of $3.50. If you've
Okay.
ever been in a taxi, when you get in, they push a little button. Boom, $3.50 just because I got it. Open the door of the taxi.
You got it.
So we're going to label our axes first. X is miles.
X is miles. And we just took that right from that paragraph.
Yeah, I didn't like infer anything. It tells me right there. Or right here, I guess I should talk about your notes. Okay.
Taxi.
Taxi.
Hmm.
Fair. Wouldn't it be fair?
Really? Okay.
Because it's not how many taxis. It's,
I know.
It's the money. Okay. So now we're going to graph the equation. Step 1, put your y-intercept on
Okay.
there.
So I'm going to put a little 1 right next to my 350.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's my first thing. I'm going to go to $3.50, put it up.
There doesn't seem to be a line for 350.
But it's okay. I can estimate it's in between
Okay.
3 and 4.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Then we're going to use our slope. Go up 50 cents
Oh, now this makes sense. Up 50
over 1.
over 1.
Mm-hmm. So when I add 50 to $3.50, it would be $4.
Up
So
4.
we went up to 4
Mm-hmm.
and then there. Okay, now I'm going to go up
$4.50.
$4.50 and over to there.
Okay.
Up 50 over 4 or over 1 and keep going and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Now I'm assuming we would connect the dots here.
Because you can have, yeah,
I
because
can
you can
travel.
stop.
Yeah.
Hey, taxi driver, stop
Stop
anywhere.
me halfway between mile
Right.
1 and 2. So I could estimate how much money
Right.
that is.
Now this is the fun part. We don't have a straight edge right now, but we should always use a straight edge when connecting these dots.
Yes.
Okay, so you start here and you connect your dots with a straight edge, and then you have an arrow on the end.
Right.
Why do you have an arrow?
Well, because this goes on forever. If I was in the taxi for 20 miles, that's not on the graph, but that arrow indicates that it keeps going.
Right.
Okay?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Now it says interpret the slope and the y-intercept. So I know how to interpret the y-intercept. The y-intercept is right there, $3.50 for 0 miles. What?
Okay. Nothing. I like it. Why? How do you want me to write that though?
I guess I would just say,
B equal.
yeah,
Is that okay?
yeah,
So B equals $3.50.
$3.50 for 0 miles, right?
Yeah. 0 miles.
Mm-hmm. And then what does my slope represent? Well, every time I increased a mile, you already know how to interpret slope, so it was 50 cents per mile.
Okay. So 1
And
mile.
1 mile costs 50 cents.
Okay.
That's a cheap fare, I think.
That's really cheap.
Okay. All right, so here, wow, we're already done. So here's your guided practice. Again, examples 1, 4, and 5 are for number 1,
You can see that right here.
and number 2 is about examples 2 and 3 that we did.
Got it.
Okay, guys, we'll see you.
On the flip side.
Bye.